What's going on, YouTube? It has been a heck of a minute since I made a video. As you guys always know, I'm only making videos for fun and to, create memories and all that stuff, not necessarily to build a massive channel or to make money or anything like that. Very, very tired today. Barely slept last night. Got like 3 hours of sleep. Tried to nap, still couldn't nap. A lot on my mind. If you guys have been following me for any length of time, you guys know we've gone back and forth on selling this house. We are putting it back up on the market. We are going to only sell if we can get max money that we feel it's worth after putting $75,000-$80,000 into it in the last 2.5 years. Obviously, we'll never get it all back. You never do on any home unless you're 90 years old and bought the place back in 1940 or 50 or whatever. Those people seem to make out pretty good. Nowadays, days of old are not like days of new, guys. I know the older generation, I feel like they get a little bit butthurt when we talk about that. I know I've had uncles and stuff that, get mad when we say stuff and they're like, well, things were expensive back then too. Yes, they were, but not to the point where you could truly not, people have to choose. If you have a decent job, you have to choose between this or that, or you can't have this. I mean, my dad is in his 60s and he worked one job almost our entire childhood, right up until today. They live very frugal, but they have a nice little home, 1,400 square foot house. Nice newer car, re-sided, paid for window. They're doing okay, but it all stems from even them, right? They bought their place 10 years ago for a steal of a deal. Now it's worth 3 times of what they paid for it. That is not normal, guys. How everything in today's society is not normal. The only thing I will say is apparently back in the day there was a time where interest rates were incredibly crazy. So, they've had their times. I'm not taking anything away from the older generation acting like they had it on easy street. They had to work hard for what they did and all that. But what I'm saying is the benefits and the perks were at least there. If you put in the time and worked hard, you got pensions, you got retirement health care, especially if you work for the UAW, who employed 700,000-800,000 people back in the 90s and 80s and even in the 70s and 60s. You could work even in these off factories that wasn't General Motors and stem off of them and make a living. And, your wife could work a part-time job while you worked a full-time job, or, homes are affordable. My dad bought a home on an acre out in the country for $45,000, 2-story, nice big house. It wasn't perfect. It needed to work, whatever, but it was $45,000. Stretch over 30 years. What's your payment? $300-$400 a month? Now, as you guys know, we bought our house for $268,000. Actually, it was more than that because that was after the down payment and everything on that. So it might have been $280 something. But long story short, the thing needed every single damn thing and even more than what we couldn't even see. Again, $85,000 we had to put into it just to get it up to par. And then we're going to try to sell it and try to claw back at least maybe half that money, not counting interest lost in payments and all that. So you might be asking, if you care, why are you guys trying to sell again, right? We go back and forth a lot. Well, guys, I haven't been online in a long time. There's reasons for that. My back issues are, today they're great. I wouldn't say great, very good, getting better. But a few weeks ago, for about 2.5-3 weeks, I could hardly walk. Truly could hardly walk. And when I could walk, I was in a lot of pain. Couldn't work. Had to go back and get on the spinal decompression table. I had to take pills. I had to get massages, deep tissue massages. I had to get chiropractic adjustments and the table, rest, ice, heat, you name it, right? I mean, there literally was a point, guys, I had to roll myself out of bed and kind of try to drop on the floor. I mean, it was crazy. Couldn't get my socks on. My back issues are pretty severe. For whatever reason, this regime that this chiropractor puts me through gets me back to moving pretty good. I always have a bit of a pain in my back. It's kind of something you just get used to. It's this weird numbing, yeah, I'm here. You have a problem, but But it's getting to the point you get used to it, and it don't affect my attitude. It don't affect my movement, whatever. It's just kind of there warning me that, hey, don't mess up. Don't pick up something shitty. Don't twist. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, guys, with that being said, we finally just decided to pull the trigger and put this thing up for sale because it's a lot to take care of. My back can't handle it, and even when it can handle it and I'm doing better during those moments, I don't want to spend all my waking moment taking care of all this and risk hurting my back and then missing work, losing thousands of dollars a week. It just doesn't make any sense, guys. Anyways, that's just kind of a quick little update. I'm very tired today. I'm not necessarily in a bad mood, not negative really. This is a bit of a negative video, and it's going to be about gaming like usual. But it's only negative because of all the news that have been coming out, and I really wanted to say something about it. And I kind of proved a point today, actually, doing this. So if you guys know, Sony announces they're canceling discs, right? A lot of people don't care. I went digital years ago. It's easier. It's more convenient. Absolutely, totally, 100% agree. Is it convenient to jump on your console, which I am right now? Is it just jump on your console, fire up a game, delete it, or bump out of it, jump on another one, whatever, not have to deal with disc, getting up, all that? Yes. The problem is, which you guys have heard it 100 times, but it's true, except for the situations, guys, where the discs don't hold all the data, then that's kind of no different than a digital game, in my opinion, or at least it holds some of the data, at least. But the problem we're having, guys, is, once we go all digital on everything, we don't have a choice. There's some games that I'm buying digitally that are not available at all on disc, and I just really want to play them. I'm willing to just do that. But if I can buy a disc, I buy a disc. Even with me having a gaming PC and Steam, and I own 200 some games on Steam, I've half the games I picked up for pennies on the dollar. $5, $6, $7, $10, $12, $50 games for $13. So worst case scenario, Steam ever screws us over, loses the license recall to these games. At least I'm not out. All total, I might be out $500, not fucking $3,500 or $4,000 when these games are $80 a piece. And you have, at one time, guys, I had rows and rows of games. Literally, I'd have $5,000 worth of value in games. So, these games in the eras where they're not wanting to put games on discs anymore, especially the full game, where we own the game, they want to sell you a license. Oh, you have a license to play. Listen, you know what? No, I'm not doing that shit. At least not 100% for all my shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to play the game. I'm getting older. I don't really do a lot of online gaming. Never been a big online gamer other than like Call of Duty and shit. I like story games and all that. If I really enjoy a game, it's a game that I've still been playing the heck out of Ghost of Tsushima, guys. I've been playing older Call of Duties, and that's something I want to swing the camera around a little. Guess what dropped today, guys? Call of Duty 1 and 2 Black Ops. Now, push those onto a disc, at least have the campaigns on the disc and whatever, because multiplayer is never on the disc anyway. Those are the only games I really make a big exception for, is buying digitally nowadays anyway, if I buy Call of Duty, which I don't anymore. So when they dropped 1 and 2 playable on the PlayStation 5, even if it is just the old Call of Duties, no up-resing, no nothing, I don't give a shit. I popped it on my old PS3 last year when I had one or whatever, and it looked good enough to play. Like, it looked fine. It wasn't like, oh my god, this looks so terrible. No, it was very enjoyable. One of the better Call of Duties. A game that back in the day when I was younger, when that came out, I put hundreds of hours into it. Guys, I buy these new Call of Duties and I put in 10 hours. 6 hours, I think, one of them. This year, I didn't even buy it. Last year, I don't think I even bought it. I think the year 3 years ago, or the 3 games ago, I bought it and barely put any time into it. They're getting stupid, and they're ridiculous. I don't like them. And I'm literally finally at that point. I think it took a lot of us. We kept saying we're not going to buy it, but we kept buying COD because, we always are nostalgia. We wanted that game to be back. Was hoping and praying every year it would be better, and it just never was. They kick you with microtransactions and all that bullshit. Look at EA with College Football 27, guys. They've gotten to the point now where they're a pay to win to play the actual offline mode, franchise mode. Now you have to pay money, or they try to push you to pay money instead of grinding to become a head coach or do offline stuff. It's absolutely insane. No company these days knows how to put out a good product that's actually reliable, that's going to last or hold up, or all the data's on the disc. They don't know or will refuse to give the consumer what they want. They kind of give you just enough to try to hook you in and get in it. And a lot of people like myself, and I'm not just talking about games, I'm talking about vehicles and cars and RVs and homes. And, they're trying to sell you the dream and sell you all this bullshit. And now they're trying to sell you data and AI is the greatest thing and all this dumb shit. And it's like, and you don't own none of it. They want all your money. They want all your money, guys. But they don't want to put out a good product from day one. There's always got to be a 100 gig patch. So sometimes some of these games that are on disc don't even matter because there's an 85 gig fucking update patch in the very beginning of the game. And so essentially, if the whole game is on the disc, it's a fucked up game and it won't run or play for shit anyways. It's irritating, guys. I'm going to be 42 years old in October. And it's getting to the point where it's like, take me back to when I was 20. When I was 21, 22 years old, even 20 years ago. Things were just, I could go buy a car. I used to buy and sell cars all the time, guys. $5,000. I remember buying a Ford Escort ZX2, fast little car, great on gas. Beautiful condition. I fucking paid like $3,500 for it. Had 100,000, 90,000 miles on it, whatever. I bebopped around in it, traded it, sold it for something else, never was in the hole massively. Now you got vehicles that are $100,000, $75,000, $60,000, $50,000, and they don't even work right. I've got a problem with my tailgate on my brand new, not quite brand new now, it's a 25, but damn near brand new truck, because the damn button wants to work half the time. Sometimes it locks me out of it. It's like, what the fuck? Won't give me a handle. God forbid we have a fucking handle that's made out of metal, mind you, not plastic, that I can open the damn tailgate 20 years from now and ain't gonna break. It's absolutely despicable. Everything. I mean, don't even get me started about the government, the corruption of the government. I was a Trump supporter, now not so much because he's totally shit in the bed. He ain't doing a goddamn thing, thinking he's going to get in a war with Iran and win and negotiate shit. And every 5 minutes after they come up with an agreement, they frickin', Iran blows it out of the water. And then don't even get me started on the Charlie Kirk assassination, which is complete horse shit too. That was all a big game. I don't buy into that narrative either they're trying to spin. Everything's BS. And everybody that wants to be, brainwashed or dead in the water or don't know how to use common sense and think for themselves, look at all the things that have been popped out years later about like the John F. Kennedy assassination. Who did that? It's well known now that it was the government. They released that shit. How many things come out that were conspiracies, guys? The C word, you guys know what I mean. A couple of years ago, everybody got the C word. Everybody was conspiracy theorists that, that wasn't good for you. It wasn't bad. It hasn't been tested. It doesn't even help you. Now they're coming out in lawsuits and all this stuff saying, yeah, we didn't even actually test it. We just were told to push it out on people, say it worked, and it didn't. We didn't have no proof. It's causing all sorts of freaking heart attacks and mitochondria, which my wife now has from it. I've had problems from it. We got the one shot and all sorts of damn issues ever since, Luckily for us, it hasn't been nothing life-threatening, but it's changed our life. Never got the boosters, never wanted to take the first one to begin with, but felt pressure from my work. Unfortunately, we caved, and people are like, well, you should not have caved. Well, when you make $40 an hour and, together your income is $175 to $200 plus $1,000, and we don't need to make that much, but, we have a home, we have a life. Are you really going to give that up, Now, with that being said, would I do it again? Absolutely not. I would take that risk this time, knowing, you just can't trust nothing or nobody. Anyways, I'm going on a frickin' rant like I do, and I haven't talked to you guys or put out a video in a long time, but it's just an irritating day. It's a good day. It's a great day, but it's an irritating day. I'm blessed to be alive. I'm blessed to be healthy. I started working out again, guys. I've been going to the gym every other day regularly when my back is not jacked up. So it's a slow go. I only go for 20 to 30 minutes. Real quick, get in there, hit it hard, and get out, and protect my back, obviously, still too. But I'm losing weight. I'm getting in better shape. I'm learning a new job at my job doing machining. I'm CNC machining at General Motors, and it's been going well. It's been definitely crazy to learn, but it's nice to be out the assembly. Anyways, guys, so that's my kind of life story right now. We are going to be selling the house. We're going to be listing the house for $349,900. We're hoping to get 335,000. They're saying online it's worth about 311. But keep in mind, when websites say what it's worth, they're basing it on comps. They're not basing it on $85,000 of upgrades and all that stuff. So we feel like that's a pretty solid price. We'll walk anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000. If we can walk with that kind of money to propel our future with whatever other money we have, and we're gonna rent. We're just gonna rent for a year. I'm gonna see how my back gets done. Wait for my wife to get laid off at the end of the year. Go through her layoff, and then after that, we will probably look into buying a condo, or maybe a house with a much smaller yard and just a ranch with no stairs and all that. Something that my back can grow into and I can get older into without struggling. Just kind of get ahead of the game. So that's kind of the plan with all that, guys. Yeah, I know I went every which way to Sunday on this video. Just a lot of stuff. I haven't been talking to you guys, haven't been making videos, so that's just kind of how I feel. I could rant all fucking day about the state of America, the state of the economy, the state of prices, and businesses buying up homes, and that's something that, we're a little bit leery about, because we can make another video about that. I don't want to go on and on about it. But anyways, guys, why is it a great day? This is going to be a little contradictory to what I'm talking about. We're going all digital. Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1 drop today, only digital. $20 if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, which I am. I'll pay $20 all day to play an amazing game like that, especially multiplayer. And hopefully they'll continue to let it ride on the PS5 into the sunset for quite a few more years, because I don't plan on buying the new one, so I plan on playing these ones. Hopefully they're not idiots and only give you a little bit of a taste of it until the new one comes out, and then they block it or something. Again, which is a problem with digital games. If they see that more people are playing the old games than the new game, they're going to try to not want you to play the old game because they want you to buy the new game. Why the fuck would I do that when Black Ops 1 and 2 is a better game than any of this shit they made 20 years later? I'm guessing 20 years, but it's been a long time. Now, with that being said, guys, again, yes, I'm willing to buy some things digitally if they're not available and I really want to play them. So then people are going to say, okay, well, Sony knows that. So if they go all digital on the PS6 and you can't buy it physically, then you're going to buy it digitally. No, I'm not. Most third-party games come out on Steam. I trust Steam. They've got a proven track record to continue to let you play your games you bought even 20 years ago. I can play shit. I can play games like Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty, even though it is a bit hacked or whatever. But I can play all that shit still. If I'm going to buy a game, I'm going to buy a game on PC where I can get it for not full price, amazing sales, and through a company that's PC-based that I can literally play on my PC for 10 years. All the old stuff. It doesn't take a new console to continue to play the games. I'm not going to give Sony or Xbox or Nintendo $80 for these games that I'm going to own digitally just so they can take them off their store, or maybe they are cool and they're saying like, yeah, they'll continue to work like the PS3. They'll continue to work, but they are now finally starting to shut down that store and servers on that this year. Which, yeah, they gave it a long run, which is nice, but I don't see that happening. I think they're already talking about doing it to the PS4 here soon too. I don't want to have to own a 25-year-old console or a 20-year-old console and hope the hell it works, especially for as high-tech they are nowadays. They're not just an old Nintendo system that seems to run forever. These things are going to they have liquid metal and batteries and all this bullshit, so they're not going to last. So yeah, I don't want to have a whole collection of games that I fucking can't play, or digitally they shut down the store, or they get rid of them. Look at how they got rid of the movies. I was a big movie buyer on PlayStation because when I had the Vita, I could download movies. I can't remember the Vita. They had the cartridges or whatever. I'm even thinking the PSP, they used to put movies on the discs and you could put them in. That was cool. But yeah, I used to buy movies. They had $5 deals all the time. You could buy great movies for $5. I still have them. I'm allowed to get to them. There's some that I own that I no longer can get access to. Is it a huge deal? No, but it's the point that I paid for the damn movie. If I buy the disc of Terminator 2, guess what? That disc, chances are it's going to run, and I'm watching VHS tapes, guys, from 30 years ago. I just unwrapped The Godfather 1, 2, and 3 from brand new still, and I'm watching them on VHS. Now, granted, I will say the first one tape didn't work too well. It's brand new, don't look like nothing's wrong with it, but it might have been I don't know. Anyway, VHS is going way back. Fact of the matter is, though, for the most part, guys, this old technology still continues to work to the day we almost die. Unlike this new shit. Everything is digital owned. They want subscription based. They want you paying forever and ever and ever. And then when they want to make a change or whatever, oh, you got your favorite ass game that you want to play when you're 65 years old? We don't give a shit. Buy it again or buy it again, buy it again. Or, you just can't play it. We're gonna re-release it on the next generation console to make you buy it then. It's just all a bunch of bullshit. And I'm not going to do it. The PS5 will be my last console if they go all digital on PS6. And I'm not just bullshitting you guys. I'm not just going to be like, well, you'll end up buying it. No, I really will not. I have such a backlog on Steam, such a backlog I'll have on even the PS5 from PS4 games that are discs that I can play and enjoy myself for the rest of my life. And this game came out today, guys, which Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. What did I do? I bought it with the disc. And I want these games when the PS5 goes down or whatever, I want to be able to pop the disc in. I'm going to buy another extra. I'm probably eventually going to buy another PS5, maybe in a year or two when the new one gets called out or whatever. I'm going to buy another PS5 Pro to put in the closet. I'm going to buy another disc drive. I might even get it connected to the internet to get it synced with the PS5. And when the one dies, I'll get it repaired till I can't repair it no more. Then I'll fire up the other one. By that time, I'll be such an old man, I won't give a shit by then. But yeah, I like physical media. It's not even that I like displaying it. I like to have it in my hands, especially the physical media where the game is all on the disc. Even if some of the downloads or DLC may be made on the disc, which usually when they would do Game of the Year editions, all that would be on the discs. But, we're getting away from all this stuff. Why? Because they're worried about their little precious money. They act like they don't make any damn money on all their bullshit. God forbid they spend a couple extra dollars to print out a disc. God forbid they give people what they want. God forbid they give people a freaking game on a disc, that we pay $80 plus tax, $83 to $86, depending what country you're in. Paying all this money for a damn video game, and half the time it comes out half-baked, not even freaking done right. It's like, screw the consumer, but we want your money. We want your money. They'll do every damn thing to get you to convince you, and there's always some bullshit. I was watching the review for Madden, or College Football 27. Didn't really have an interest in it because I have a College Football 25. My Michigan Wolverines won. They're on the front cover. That's all I care about. I'll play that game when I have the itch to play a little bit of football. But I just kind of want to know, I kind of had a feeling that EA was always going to suck. They're going to try to put out a good game in 25, and then it was just going to become microtransaction hell, like they always do, where there's always some freaking catch. And sure enough, I forget the guy on YouTube that's very much rams EA all the time. He actually had a lot of positive things about College Football 27, saying it's one of the best college games, football games that they've made since they started it back up. But what do? There's always a catch, guys. They put a bunch of microtransactions behind the offline, my GM mode and all that shit. They make it so hard to come up with so many points. You got to play like your life depends on it for hours and hours and hours. God forbid you want to play anything else. Or but for $100 you can unlock this for the offline shit. It's gotten ridiculous, guys. There's always a catch. No matter what. You buy a warranty on something, there's a catch. You buy a PlayStation, there's a catch. You buy a video game or a digital product, there's a catch. There's always a fucking catch. Even if you can't figure out what it is, there's always a catch. Black Ops 1 and 2, I'm going to enjoy it, hopefully. Hopefully they didn't really mess with it. There isn't no catch right this second. But there'll be a catch if they see that the damn game is, everybody's on there playing. All of a sudden, I guarantee they'll take that shit down. Oh, you'll still get to keep it. You get to keep the campaign. But then they know everybody wants to play the multiplayer. So, yeah, guys, I'm jumping on tonight. I'm going to play the mess out of it until I can freaking stay up because I'm pretty tired. But I'm going to play it this weekend. I'm going to take the next few days off. My back's a little bit sore. I sold off, guys, the Switch. I sold off the old Nintendo systems. I sold off everything. We're downsizing. We've finally realized we don't have the time to play and do all the things that we own. They just sit there and collect dust. We forget to charge the battery, which is bad on the batteries. We just have too much stuff, so we sold it. With that being said, that's another point I want to make. I took the games in, and I traded them to get Assassin's Creed, which, look at this, guys, another perk of getting physical. Steel book. I know, not a big deal, but it's cool. I like the steel books. Always have. I used to own all the statues from Assassin's Creed. They were awesome. the statues. When I had a gaming room, it was sweet. What are you gonna do? Buy a digital product, but they'll still sell you $200. And that's another thing, freaking $200, $300, $400. It's like, give me a break. Anyways, guys, so I traded in at GameStop. Actually, I traded in James Bond 007. I didn't even finish the game. I maybe 33% or something. I didn't like it. It just didn't grab me. It wasn't terrible, but there was something about that game I just didn't like. I didn't like that you couldn't shoot whenever you wanted to do. You felt restricted. It slogged. I just didn't like it. I really wanted to like it because 007, I love the movies, the shows, James Bond and all that shit. But it just didn't grab me. So I'm like, you know what? Let's get rid of it when I can. I got like $38 trade on it. Yeah, it was 70, but GameStop's got to make money, so whatever. I traded that in, and I traded in the remaining Switch games that we forgot to sell to a guy that came and bought them all up. So we went ahead and just took the remaining that we forgot we had and traded them in. And I took this in, my wife's game. Full game download, game card not included. I'll be honest, I didn't really see that. I didn't pay a lot of attention. I just seen Drew Light Valley. I took it in. We opened it up. Oh, the game cartridge ain't in there. I'm like, oh, I must have left it at home, whatever. I know, and I remember it's a digital download, but for some reason I was thinking it was you put the insert in and then it triggers the download. That's how like the Switch 2 I think works now. So anyways, I just grabbed this shit and left. So guess what? I couldn't do anything with this. I couldn't do anything with it. Couldn't trade it in. Couldn't get no money back. I pretty much have a wasted piece of plastic here. It's going to go in the trash. I think there is some stuff in here. Yeah, a map or something. I don't know if my wife really cares to even have that. Maybe I'll even throw it on eBay. I don't know if it's something somebody wants. I hate to throw it out if somebody wants it. I mean, I'll give it to somebody. But yeah, it was pointless. Couldn't get $1 for it. At least with 007 or anything I had a disc with it, the money out of it. I ended up getting, guys, when I factored in it here at home, I factored trading all 4 games in. That was James Bond 007, fairly new game, and some older Switch titles and a couple of Nintendo titles like Animal Crossing that usually go for a decent amount of money. I traded all that in, and online, and it said I'd get like $63. I'm like, perfect, it'll pay for Black Flag. When I got there, I got $90. Yeah, I got $90. So I was able to pay off Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It didn't cost me a penny. Because there was trade-in bonuses, because they're giving me more, because I'm putting it towards a old game. And then I was able to put like $40-some on Wolverine, which I'm going to get, which is on disc, thank God, because that's one game I really am looking forward to playing. And I probably won't be able to play the sequels because they'll be all digital on the next gen console. So hopefully it's a good game and I can just go back when I want the fix and play that just like I can Spider-Man. Anyways, yeah, so I only owe like $22 on that. So that's a win-win. So today was a good day. We're going to do some nostalgia gaming. We're going to play the new Assassin's Creed resynced game, and we're going to jump into some matches on Black Ops 1 and 2. I guarantee you there'll be people my age all up in that shit playing that game. So I already remember the maps in my head already. So I remember the guns, everything. It's going to be a good time. So anyways, guys, long-ass video, way overdue. A lot of stuff going on. Yeah, I hope you all have a good one. I hope everything has been good with you guys all. God bless you all, and you take care of yourselves. And maybe I'll start making videos again. I don't know. We'll see.